Okay, now let's go with number 21. This is a circle equation, and we need to create an equation of the circle. This is something a little bit trickier because we don't have a center, and you need to get first your center. But the first thing I can notice is there's a y-intercept here, which means I know that that point is 0 and 9, right? 0 x-axis, and then 9 in my y-axis there. And then, has a radius of 5, it means that horizontally, straight at that 5 units, meaning to say that will be your center. So meaning to say, I can say that the center of this will be -5, because like you have 5 units to the left, and then the height is still 9. So the center will be -5 and 9. But you're not yet done, because you're going to create an equation of that circle. And you know that the formula is just simple as x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. The formula will be there in the sheet. So I'm just going to put x minus 5, but it will become plus 5 squared plus y minus 9 squared is equal to 5 is the radius, see here, squared 25. You need to evaluate that. And therefore, that's your equation of the circle. Okay, now let's move on to the letter B. This is a trickier question because, let me just erase this drawing. I want you to visualize things here. So technically, I have a point, which is, let's say, assuming this is 8, and this is around -7, then this is your letter P. 8, -7. And then it's asking for, find the length of the PT. The T is a point of the circle where it is tangent, passing through that P. So it can be from here to this one. So that's the P, this is the P. Or it can be from here to this one. So that will be your tangent, like passing through one point to that circle. But which one will be the answer? So what you're going to do is this one. You need to find the distance between your P and your center. Here, this is your center, right? And your center, once again, is -5 and 9. So you need to get the distance between your C. Let me just use C, -5 and 9. And then your P, which is 8, -7. And the distance between them will be this formula. X1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. If you want to interchange, that's okay, because you can see that you're going to square this anyway, so it will just be the same. So my x1, I'm just going to consider this one x1, y1, x2, y2. So x1, we have -5 minus 8 squared. Then y1 will be 9 minus -7, which will be +7 squared. And then we're going to square root. The final answer here will be square root of 421. I want you to double check. Let's double check together. So we are in the correct. -5 minus 8 squared plus 9 plus 7. So we have 16 squared. That's a total of 425. That's correct. Now that D is actually the hypotenuse of a certain triangle. Which one? Because we know the rule that if you have a tangent to the circumference, meaning to say this one to that one, that will be perpendicular. So it will be creating right triangle. So this is what I'm saying. This will be right triangle. Meaning to say your root 425 is this distance, the blue one. And you know that this is 5, but you don't know this, which is, that's what you want to find, right? P and T. T is the point of the circle where it is tangent, passing through 8, -7. So that's what you want to find. So basically, I'm going to use Pythagoras there, which is simple as c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. But remember, c squared is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse here is the root 425. Don't forget, you're going to square that. The A is 5, or regardless, if you want to find the A, it's the same thing. So 5 squared, and the B is the PT that you need to find. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we can just undo each other, because square root and squares just undo each other. So you have 425 is equal to 25 plus b squared, and then we can just put the 25 on the other side. That will be a total of 400, because it will be minus, is equal to b squared. We're going to square root both sides, and your b, which is your pt, will be equivalent to the square root of 400, or 20. There's a unit, you can just put units there, 20 units, and that's it. Okay, next one is we also have a circle equation. Please take note of this number. I'm telling you, there's a question like this in the test, so please take note. But I'm very sorry, there is like a typo here. Also, this one is not correct here, but I will show you which one will be the correct part of the question there. Okay, the center is 4, and the center A is 2, 1. 2, 1. Let me just put 2 and 1. Let me label. That's my strategy, so I can take note. And then my line, this diagonal one, the formula of that is y is equal to negative 3/4 x plus 25 over 4. What I want to take note is L is a tangent to the C, tangent, meaning to say that it is like when we have a radius here, this one will be a right angle. And I need to get the equation of straight line passing through A and T. Passing through A and T. Let's say this is that's the T and the A. There's a line passing through A and T, and you need to find the equation of that one. So what are you going to do? First of all, you know that the gradient of this violet one will be negative reciprocal of that red line, because they are perpendicular to each other. When the gradient of the L, of the diagonal one or the blue one, is negative 3/4. So what do you think will be the, let me just make it red line, or the line 80, so it's not confusing. Red line, or the line 80, is perpendicular to that L, or the one with this blue diagonal line. And you know that it's a negative reciprocal. If it's negative 3/4 here, meaning to say the gradient of that red line will be positive 4 over 3. Okay? And then you know that you're going to use the formula of creating an equation, which is y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. The y1 is the part of the line wherein you can see the points. So this is already the points that we're going to use. 2 and 1. So y minus 1, because that's my y, m will be the 4 over 3 that I'm going to use, x minus 2. Then we're going to simplify. Y minus 1 is equal to 4, 3x minus 8 over 3. I'm just doing rainbow method. Then let me just simplify there. Let me just put it here, so I'm maximizing space. Y is equal to 4 over 3x minus 8 over 3 minus 1. Okay, because I'm in plus 1. Then just simplify. So it becomes 4 over 3x, 8 over 3 plus 1 will be negative 5 over 3. We need to fix this. We need to remove that denominator there. We can just multiply both sides by 3. Okay, 3y is equal to 4x minus 5. Therefore, the final proper will be 4x minus 3y minus 5. 4x minus 3y is equal to 0. So, yeah, this is my typo. I'm very sorry. So, show that the equation of straight line must be this one. 4x minus 3y minus 5 is equal to 0. Don't worry, there's no in the exam, it will definitely show what equation you will get. And then at the end, you can just put shown there, because they are equal to each other. Okay? Now let's go with, this is letter A. That's the answer in letter A. Let's go with letter B. Okay. Hence, find the coordinates of T. So, the T is like this one. You know that the equation of the red line is this, right? This is the red line. The violet line, the diagonal violet line passing through that circumference will be this one. So, I'm going to use this instead to equate to each other. This and this I'm going to equate, okay? Because for you to get the intersection between the two equations, you're going to equate each other. Okay, let me just write. This is the equation of the violet diagonal line, 25/4. And then the other one, straight red line, is 4/3 x minus 5/3. If you have different ways, go ahead. But what I want and what I'm going to do is substituting each other. So that's why I'm putting it there. Okay, let me just erase this part. What I'm going to do is this one. 3/4 x plus 25/4 is equal to 4/3 x minus 5/3, because I know that they are both equal to y and we can just equate each other. This is simultaneous equation using substitution method. Okay, then just put it at the same side to make it easier. So I'm not going to show it anymore, but you know that when I put the 4/3 on the other side, it will become negative 4/3. So it will become negative 3/4 minus 4/3, and that will be a total of negative 25x/12. And then negative 5/3 on the other side will just be as is, negative 5/3, but it will be having negative 25/4 in the other side, and that will be a total of negative 95/12. Please check. And then now we're going to divide both sides. Negative 25/12 divide negative 25/12. Don't worry, in the exam, it will be a beautiful number, I'm telling you. Okay. Cancel, and then just put that in calculator. Your x will be 19/5. If you want to use decimal point, it's up to you. The number of decimal points will not be stated. Some numbers will be stated, yes, but if it's not stated, it's up to you, as long as you're going to round it off correctly. No one will ask. It's up to you. And then what I'm going to do is I can put it in any other equation, but maybe I'll just put it here. Y is equal to 4/3 multiply 19/5 minus 5/3. Put that in calculator. Your y is equal to 17/5. So meaning to say, the coordinates of my t will be, combining them, 19/5, 17/5, and that will be my t. Coordinates of t. Okay, we're not yet done because equation of the circle equation, but this one will just be easy and you can do it because everything is already given on the top. An equation of the circle C, which is x minus a, again squared, plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. X minus a, what will be the center? You know that the center is 2, -1, 2 and 1. Please make sure to know what points are you going to use. So it will become x minus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to r, which is our radius is, you need to get the distance between, because it's still not given, okay? You need to get the distance, finding r, finding your radius. So what you're going to do is x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared, then square root. But what are the 2 points? The center and this t. You get it? So I can just put the center, okay? The center, which is this and this one. So we can just put x1 will be 2 minus 19/5 squared plus y1, where's my y1? 1 minus 17/5 squared and square root. I want you to check it right now. Let's check it. at the same time. So put that in calculator. Please be careful on your parentheses. Yeah, 1 minus, use fraction better than the division, so you will not be confused. And we will have square root of that will be 7 point. Okay, I think there's how many decimal point do we have? 2 minus 9/5. Okay, let me just double check first. Okay, let's square root that one. Your answer. Okay, sorry. Okay. When you put the answer of that, when you square root, let me just square root the 6,201 divide 100. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, wait, let me double check. Okay, got it. There's a typo here earlier, so it's 19/5. I keep on putting 2 instead. Okay, please be careful on that. Don't be careless. And yeah, when you put that in calculator, it will show you 3. When you square root that, yeah. But you know that you're going to just square it again because when you the radius is 3, but when you put it here 3 squared, it's just going to be just 9, right? So we can just go with putting 9 there, and that will be the circle equation. Take note of that. Okay, now let's go with the very simple kind of question in vector. So you just need to get the vector of AB, which is, the very, you can draw, you can visualize, but the shortcut of that is, will just be B minus A. The second letter minus the other vector. So that will be finding vector of AB will just be B minus A, which is 8I plus 3J minus 3I minus 7J. And then, of course, you just subtract and add whatever's the same. 8I minus 3I will be 5I. And then 3J minus 7J will be 10J. And that will be the answer. Very simple for letter A. Now, for letter B, magnitude AB, since you already get the vector AV, you just need to get the magnitude, which you know that you're just going to square your i's, square your j, and then you're just going to add and square root them. 5 squared plus 10 squared, and you're just going to square root. 25 plus 100, 125, square root of 125 will have 5 root 5. And that's the answer, okay? Take note, most of the time, where I'm going to ask magnitude, you need to get first the vector, resultant vector, which is AB. And you need to do that. And that's it. Okay, take note of this number. This is very important. I'm telling you, this is kind of easy. At the same time, you may see this kind of question in the test. Okay, let's try to answer this one. Kind of problem under the topic vector. So vector CB. What I'm going to do first is to label them A, B. So the arrow will be A to B will be 3I minus 2J plus 5K. I'm not going to change anything there for the meantime. And then AC, the vector signal there will be 7I minus 6J plus 4K. Now, what you want to find is CB, meaning to say from C to B. You want to get that. So, meaning to say C to A to B. That's how it works. From C to A to B. Okay? Because you don't have anything here. That's what you want to find. So you want to go with C to A first, then after that, A to B. Okay? But they need to have the same sign. Like this, because you go with C to B, right? Okay. And you're just going to add them. Or if you want to minus, it's just the same thing, just like what I did earlier. But this one is not a position vector, like you have 3 letters all together forming a triangle. So what I'm going to do is to add, but change the sign if it's not following if it's opposite of the symbol or the direction. So from C to A, I need to interchange all or contrast all the sign of this vector. So it will become now negative 7i plus 6j minus 4k. And I'm going to add that to the next part, which is 3i minus 2j plus 5k. I will not change anything in my AB. Why? Because I didn't, I'm following the same and given direction vector there, right? So, I'm just going to add everything there. It will become negative 7i plus 3i, very simple. It will become negative 4i plus 4j plus k, and that will be your vector CB. Easy. Okay, now let's go with letter B. For letter B, it's very important that you know the formula that you need to find. It's there in the formula sheet that for you to find one of the formula for you to find angle and using angle between two vectors will be this one. Cos theta is equal to the dot products of the two legs. For example, this one, BAC. BAC. So meaning to say, the middle one will be the A. Middle letter is A. Meaning to say, this is the angle I want. That is the angle I want. So, this is the two legs. First thing first, before that, I want you to double check if both of the vectors there labeled is like outward or inward. They are both outward, so I will not change anything. I will use this, okay, in getting the angle. If you have two legs, they're together. So, I need to get the dot product of AB and AC. That's the formula. It's there. You can see that the numerator will be the dot product of the two legs there, which in between there's an angle. And then after that, there will be product of both the magnitude of that two legs, which is, in this case, I have AB and AC. Okay? And then after that, we're just going to get the dot product here and take note. What are you going to do to get the dot product? The dot product is, take note, you need to multiply this I multiply by 7. Both of the i's you will multiply. Both of the j, multiply. Both of the k, multiply. That will be the dot product. So what I'm going to do is something like this. So it will come 3 times 7. That's the dot product. Multiply plus, add negative 2, multiply negative 6, take note of the symbol, and then plus 5, multiply by 4. And then when you put that, or you can just put it later on, AB, this symbol means magnitude, like the overall distance of this or the length. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to write here, what are we going to do? Finding magnitude here. And you know that magnitude AB is this, right? Which I told you that you're just going to square and add everything all together. Just write 5 squared. And you're going to square root. Don't forget that. The answer here will be root 38. Please double check. Now, let's go with getting AC. It's the same thing. Look at the original one, which is 7 squared plus negative 6 squared plus 4 squared. Square root, and the final answer for the final magnitude of my AC will be square root of 101. What I'm going to do is to put that in my formula, 38, and then root 101. You can just put everything now in your calculator, but I will show you what will be the value of my dot product, which is 53 over root 38, 101. Now, this is the common mistake of students. This is not yet the answer that when you put that in calculator, it will be decimal. No, not yet. I want to get the angle. So, what you need to do is cos inverse. For you to get the angle, use that cos inverse 53 root 38 root 101. If you put the decimal, go ahead. But don't forget that you're going to do cos inverse the overall. And make sure that you will be in degree, and the final answer will be 31.4 degree because I want 3 significant figures. Okay, now let's go with number 25. It looks like long, guys, but it is very easy. One of the easy question in the test. Don't ever skip this kind of question in the test. Okay, the value of V in pounds of a rare painting is modeled by this equation, which is V is equal to PQT. B is equal to PQ raised to T. And then you need to find the value of P and Q. What you need to do is to make it in log form, like this. And what are you going to do? Take log on both sides, which is it will become log V is equal to log PQT. Let's do it step by step. You know that in logs, P and Q are multiplying to each other, so I can separate them and expand them by putting addition at the middle and putting log on both sides. But I'm still not done. This t, I can put that in front because it means there's like, you know, that there's a power rule in the law of logarithms, which I can just put that here in front. Log p is equal to log p plus t log q. And that's it. We are done properly expanding the logs. And then, I want you to rewrite this at the bottom and kinda, I don't need to put the 10. It's 10 ever since because there's no base, so the default will be 10. And 0.5t, 0.05, I mean, plus 4.8. And then I want you to compare. The t is this, meaning to say, this log q will be equivalent to 0.05. So I can write log q is equal to 0.05. And you know that for you to get the value of q, the base will be, make it exponential, and the base is 10. And this will be now exponent, 0.05. And you can just put that in calculator, which is 10 raised to 0.05 will be around 1.122 approximate. But you're not yet done. This 4.8 is equal to log p. If that is negative 4.8, then it will be negative. But do you think it's possible? Let's see. But this one will be a positive 4.8. So log p is equal to 4.8. The same thing, the base is still 10 and 0, 4.8. And then just put it in calculator. It will be a little bit big, but that's okay. Your P is equal to 63095.73. And that's it. For letter A, very easy. Now for letter B, it's actually more on text. So a sentence or a phrase will do, and that's okay. Let's go with answering letter BI. So what's the meaning of P? When you put V is equal to PQT, instead of T, we're going to substitute now. Let's say T is the, T represents the number of years. Let's say it's 1 year, so you put 1. If it's after 2 years, then you put 2. But let's say if it's 0, like in the year 1980, you know that it will just be 1, and then meaning to say V is equal to P. Therefore, P is actually the value of painting in 1980, or when T is equal to 0, or the initial value. That's it. I want to see something with T is equal to 0 or the initial value in 1980, and we're good. You're going to have that marks. Okay, let's go with B2. Meaning the constant of Q. This one, you can just take a look and saying if it's a growth or a decay. You can just take a look. B is equal to PQT. Your T is actually, of course, it's the number of years starting from 0. It cannot be negative. So you know that you're going to have a growth there. So your T is positive, therefore your QT is, QT represents yearly growth factor. I want to see that growth factor, or you can also say that, and since Q is equal to 1.122, then the value is multiplied by 1.122 by each year. I want to see something with the QT represents yearly growth factor. That's the most important thing. You can also say that since Q is 1.122, therefore we can conclude that the value will be multiplied by 1.122 by each year. You can add all things like, for example, a writer painting, to know that we are talking about the paintings and so on, the value of the paintings. Okay, now let's go with number 26, which is also one of some easy questions in our set of questions and in the test. Okay, and this is also still under the logarithms, which is also under the nonlinear form, because we are converting that exponential form into logarithmic forms and then getting our applying it in some application and a word problem. Okay, let's go with letter A. Find based on the model, the area of the rainforest covered by the trees when T is equal to 5. The letter A is very easy because you're just going to put that in calculator, but we want some workings there. So basically, you're just going to copy log A is equal to 3.9 there, minus 0.008, but instead of T, you're going to put the 5 because that's what's the question. What will be the value of A, or the area of rainforest, when T is equal to 5? So log A is equal to, just put the right side on the calculator, which is 3.86. You're not yet done because log A is not the answer. The answer will be the exact value of A, the estimated value of A. And you know that for you to get the value of A, you're just going to make it in the exponential form. The base is 10, your exponent is 3.86, and put that in your calculator. The answer will be 7,24436.36. Okay, so 7,244.36 kilometers square. Okay, it doesn't say anything about the number of decimal points. It's up to you. If you want to answer in decimal, it's also okay, as long as you round it off correctly. And that will be the answer, the area of the rainforest. Let's go with B. Now, find the complete equation of the model in the form A is equal to PQT, and you need to get the value of P and Q at the same time so you can put it in that format. We're going to do the same thing. You know that A is equal to PQT can be represented in a log form. Log both sides, log P. I'm going to separate now. You know that they are multiplying to each other, therefore we can just separate them by addition. But you're not yet done because that T is still on the top and you want that to put in front, which is T log Q. And then I want you to recopy the log A is equal to 3.9 minus 0.008 T, and you're going to compare. Your T is this one. Therefore, your log Q will be your negative 0.08. So I want you to write that log Q is equal to negative 0.008 T. And for you to get the Q, you're just going to make it 10, sorry, why is that there is still a Q there? I mean the T, you don't need to put that. Okay, 10 raised to negative 0.008. Your Q will be 0.982. 0.92. That's correct. That will be your Q. Now let's go with your log P is this 3.9. Therefore, log P is equal to 3.9. And then just make it base 10 Of course, 3.9 is the exponent. When you put that in calculator, it's kind of big. You can use scientific notation just like in the mark scheme. But for now, I can also put 7,943.28, and that's okay. Or the scientific notation in the mark scheme, it's both acceptable. You're not yet done because I want you to write this in this format. So basically, you will just put P, set up that just variable P. You're going to put now 7943.28. Going to put parentheses so it's not confusing. Your Q is 0.982 raised to T. And that will be the answer. Okay? Now, let's go with C. C is there, it's not something for you to compute, but you just need to take note what is the meaning of Q there. So, you can see that your Q, we have a negative 0.08, your exponent there. So, you have a decay there. Or you can also state about the real application of that. What's the meaning of that 0.982? It means that in percentage, the area becomes 98.2% of its value. It's kind of big, yes, but you know that from 100, it becomes 98.2, so it's still a decay value each year. Or you can state that 98.2 minus from 100, so you know that you will have around 1.8% decrease per year. Or again, you can just state that there's decay on that, stating the percentage of the decrease per year. And that's it. 7. Okay, show that the curve crosses the x-axis when t is equal to. So you need to show that your t will be equal to this one and to this one, which is you're just going to focus in one of that parametric equation. Show that the curve crosses the x-axis. Crossing x-axis means that your y will be equal to 0, right? Because, for example, you have a line and it's passing through x-axis. This is the x-axis. You know that the height of that will just be 0. So y is equal to 0. So what I'm going to do is just use the second parametric equation, which is y is equal to 1 minus 2 cos theta. And I can just put my y as 0 because once again, crossing x-axis means y is equal to 0. 1 minus 2 cos theta. And then I'm just going to get the t of this one. So I'll just put the cos 2 theta on the other side. Cos t, I mean. So it will become positive cos t. 2 cos t is equal to 1. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Therefore, my cos t will be equal to 1/2. But you're not yet done because you want to get the value of t. And you know that getting the value of t means cos inverse 1/2. And you need to be in degree. Look, this is in degree. You have 2 pi there. Or if you have a radian, like a pi there, so it will become in radian. Please, you must be in radian or else you're not going to get the answer. And when you put that in calculator, you will get pi over 3 here. And yes, that's correct, pi over 3. But you're not yet done. You need to get the pi over 3. What are you going to do? You're going to use the ASTC thing. That pi over 3 means that from standard here, this is pi over 3. But there's another one because, you know, it's 0 to the whole 360. So there's another one because, you know, your cos is positive. Therefore, A, S, T, C, this side is also included because this is positive. So if this is pi over 3 as well, what I want to get for the other answer will be from this to this one because we always follow the counterclockwise from standard. And what are you going to do to get that? Simple as 2 pi minus pi over 3. 2 pi means 360. So, I just need to minus that pi over 3 for me to know what is that whole color blue angle. And the answer will be 5 pi over 3. And therefore, it is shown. Okay, now let's go with letter B. Actually, you don't have anything to, at first, there are some students that will be confused that they're going to get the area and so on. No, you're just going to, you must have the answer like this at the end. Like if you already see this one, then that's it. You already showed it. But how? So basically, you already showed that your limits are those, which is I can already give considerations on that one. So, and what else? I'm going to put that in my lower limits since that's what I got from my limits earlier. And you know that if you want to get the area of parametric equations, you can see that in your formula. Just look, please. It's there. Parametric equations is equal to y dx over dt is equal, divide dt. Divide dt, multiply by dt. We are doing this formula. We explained this before, but I'm not going to explain the origin of this one. You can take a look at our lectures, but this one is for us to get the real value of the area with that y equation. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put the y there. Okay, I'm just doing substitution here. Y is this, right? So I'm going to put there. So 1 minus 2 cos t. And then I'm just going to copy this one still so I can show you the step by step. And now the problem is the dt, you don't have anything to change here. This dt is just still here. The problem goes in this one. What is that dx over dt? If you want to get your dx over dt, it means that you're going to derive this. Okay? Derive that. Okay? So I'm going to copy x is equal to 1 minus, t minus 2 sine t. What you're going to do is derive it in terms of t. So see, x, derivatives of dx in terms of d will be dx over dt. Derivatives of t, assuming it's, imagine, derivatives of x, 1, right? Derivatives of t is 1. Derivatives of 2 sine theta, remember, it's there in the formula sheet. Sine, derivative sine will be cos. So meaning it is negative 2 cos t. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that here. 1 minus 2 cos t. And what can you notice? This one and this one are just the same, which I can just put it in this format. And that's it. We already showed, and it's already the same of what you need to find. Just combine them, make it shortcut by copying only one time and put a square and dt. And that's the answer. It is showed. Now let's go in number 28. The diagram below shows a sketch of the curve parametric equation. So we have parametric equations here. That's why you have two equations, x and y, and then they are using the variable t here. And therefore, it's actually the same thing of what we did earlier because for letter A, it says like curve C cuts the x-axis. So for you to get that A and B, you can just take note that if cuts the x-axis, you know once again that y will be equal to 0. So I can just take a look at my second parametric equation, which is y is equal to t 4 minus t squared. And then I'm just going to equate that to 0, t 4 minus t squared. And actually, I don't need to do rainbow method here because it's already factorized. And then this one means that t is equal to 0. But there's another one here. I will equate this for you to see because you need to get the value of t here. So 4 is equal to t squared. You're going to square root both sides. Therefore, your t can be positive or negative 2. Okay, that's the value of t. What you need to do is get the value of the x coordinate of your point A and your point B. So what you're going to do is you can just put your, your y is all zeros now. You just need to get your x. So basically, what I'm going to do is to just put that in my parametric equation, which is x is equal to 4t squared minus 5. So you can just put it there because you know that it is a positive or 0. So for example, this one, I can just put that x is equal to 4t squared minus 5. Then I can put this t is equal to 0 there. So x is equal to 4 times 0 minus 5. So we will have minus 5. One of the coordinates -5. And next is, how about putting your t as positive and -2? Okay, let's put it here. 2 squared minus 5. And you know what? Regardless if it's positive or negative, you're still going to have positive 11. So you can just put this one time. So -5, 0. Again, this one is putting t is equal to 0. You know that from here and from there. And therefore, this is my A and this is my B. Because you know that this is like my A there, and that will be the first one. The A will be the first one, so go with the -5 from left to right. Okay, and there you go. And for getting the area using integration, what you're going to do is use the formula. Once again, the formula is there. Area of the region of the parametric equations. And you can see that the formula there is stating like this: y dx over dt multiply dt. It's there. So I can just put my y, which is t, this one, but I'm going to expand it. I'll go with 4t minus t cubed. Okay, I'm putting it there, 4t minus t cubed. Now, how about my dt? You can just copy it there because we are integrating in terms of dt. dx over dt is, you can get that 4 from deriving that. X is equal to 4t squared minus 5. We're going to derive in terms of t. dx over dt is equal to derive 8t minus nothing, just 80. Then I'm going to put my 80 there. Next is, I'm going to expand. 80 times 40 will be 32t squared. And then going to do the same thing, 8t fourth power. And then dt. And that's it. You're just going to integrate that one. And what will be the answer if you integrate? Power rule. 32t cubed over 3 minus 85 over 5. And then the question is, what will be the limits here? This is the common mistake of students. The limits will be your t values because we are integrating in terms of t. So this one, from -2 to +2. -2, +2. So we can just put -2, +2 here. You know how to integrate already? Since it's already integrated, you're going to put that in all of your t, then put parenthesis. Next, put all -2 in all your t, and then you're just going to minus both of them. Be careful to use parentheses. And for the answer, it will be a total of 1024 over 15 square units. And that will be the answer. But I would like to share something for the calculator techniques. If you want to double check if you are correct, you can just use, okay, wait a minute. You can use the formula, okay? But I want you to take note that which one are you going to use? This is what you're going to put in calculator. This is only for checking. I still want this, guys. I still want that for you to have the whole workings. But if you want to check in calculator, this is what you need to do for calculator techniques. Okay. What are you going to do? Just use, okay, this one. And then I'm going to put my limits, which is once again, +2 than, than -2. And then what you're going to do is put the 32 And of course, you don't have t, but I'm going to use the alpha x, the red x here, x squared, and then minus 8 alpha t raised to 4. And let's see if we have the same answer. Yes, it's 1024 divide 15. Okay, now let's go with number 29. Okay, a quaternary shaped like a hollow inverted right circular cone. The container has a height of 24 and a radius of 16. Water is flowing to the container when the depth of water is h, the radius of the water surface is r, and the volume of water is b. Show that the volume of a cone is that, which is 4 pi h tiga over 27. What are we going to do? You know that the volume of the water is proportional to the volume of the overall hollow inverted right circular cone. So I want you to get first your R. So what are you going to do? Try to visualize things here. You know that the ratio of this 16 is to 24 is the same with the ratio of R is to height. It's the same. I mean, you can put the H here if you want to visualize, right? The ratio of these is the same with the ratio of RH. So I can get my R first by simply doing ratio and proportion. 16 is to 24 is equal to 16 is to 24 is equal to R is to H. So it's just the same. R is to H. And then what we're going to do is we can just simplify. So my R, H, I'm just going to put on the other side, 16 over 24, divide both sides by the common denominator, or when you put that in calculator, it will just give you 2 over 3. And I want you to equate the R, so you can just actually multiply both sides by H, so you can get the value of your R. Cancel, cancel to the other side. So your V is equal to 2 over 3H. And you're going to put that in this formula. Take a look at that formula, okay? You're going to put that there. So V is equal to 1/3 pi. Instead of R, this is R, sorry. It looks like that's R. And then 2 over 3H squared multiplied by H. Okay. 1 over 3 pi, I'm just going to recopy, but if you want, you can just go with 2 over 3 raised to 2 will give you 4 over 9. 4 over 9 here, and I will have h squared there. And you can just multiply your 1/3 and your 4 over 9, and the answer there will be 4 pi h. Okay, that is 3 now because you have 1 here. I mean, you have square here and then you have another one here. So you add, that will be h raised to 3. Over 3 times 9, 27. And you see, this is already the same. Shown. Okay, now let's go with letter B. Take note of this. There's another given that you need to take note. Water flows into the container at a constant rate of 8 cubic centimeter as -1. Okay, now let's go with letter B. Find in terms of pi the rate of change h when h is equal to 12. Okay, you need to understand this a lot, and then what are those given? So 8 cm cube as -1. Find the rate of change. Rate of changes, you know, will be derivatives. So which one are you going to derive? You're going to derive that 4 pi h cube over 27 because you want to get the rate of change in the container. So let me just copy first what third pi r's, sorry, not that. For you can separate them so that you can visualize H3 there, and I'm going to differentiate them in terms of dt because we want to get the rate of change. So dv over dt for the meantime, okay, we are going to do, what I want to get actually is dh over dt. But what you need to find is get first your dv over dt, then after that, you will have something to cancel and you will have the dh over dt. Okay, let's get first the dv over dt by deriving that volume of the container, which is ht, guys. So what you're going to do is just a simple derivatives. You know, power rule, we're just going to, in terms of h, yeah, this is your variable. So you're going to do 3 times, put that in front, so I will be rewriting it like this. Don't be confused, 3 times 4 over 27. Pi is just a constant number, so you don't need to change anything there. But your h will be now 3 minus 2, remember power rule. And derivatives in terms of t will be dh over dt. Okay? Then this one I can cancel. This one becomes 9. And that's it. dv over dt is equal to 4 over 9 pi h squared dh over dt. But don't be confused. What you need to find, guys, is the dh over dt, the rate of change of h, the rate of change of h. But what are we going to do? Don't worry, the givens are all there already. The 4 pi over 9, h is given, which is 12 squared. And then the dh over dt is something you need to find, but this one, you cannot have two unknown variables. You need to have at only one so you can get it. dv over dt is just this one. See, cm cube means volume. This is the time, so that will be your dv over dt. So it's just 8. Then you just need to solve that, guys. You can do it step by step to make it easier. 8 times 9 will become 72 is equal to 4 pi. If you want, you can multiply your 12 square times 12, or 12 times 12, of course, times 4. That will be a total of 576 pi. You cannot just put it directly in calculators because it says in terms of pi. Okay, and then dh over dt. I want you to divide both sides by 576 pi, 576 pi. So, yeah, you know, you can just put this in calculator so that the pi is still there because you need to answer in terms of pi. So, 72 divide 576, you will have 1 over 8 pi. That will be your dh over dt. And you can put your units, which is the rate of change, will be centimeter per second. And that's your answer. Easy peasy. Okay, now let's last number, which is letter A is easy. Find that expression for the total surface area S of the cylinder in terms of pi. The total surface area is given. And yeah, take note of the given, which is the fixed height is 8 centimeter. Base radius is R. So, what you just need to do is to substitute your h is equal to 8. Why? Because it's there. Fixed height is equal to 8 centimeter. And you're just going to put that in your formula here, which is S equal to 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Instead of h, you put 8. Just arrange it properly. I mean, 2 times 8 will be 16 pi r. And that's it. This is like a bonus already because it's very easy. Now, let's go with letter B. Please take time to read the given before continuing in listening here, or else it will be a little bit confusing. Okay, let's take note of the given. You have the base radius is increasing at a constant rate of 2 centimeter per minute. The question is, what is that? 2 centimeter per minute. the radius is increasing at a constant rate of 2 centimeter per minute. So meaning to say that 2 is dr because the radius keeps on changing in terms of increasing at a constant rate. So my dr over dt will be that 2 centimeter per minute. Okay, now the other given that I can get is by deriving this. When I derive this in terms of r, then I can have ds over dr. So how about let's derive this one. So it's very important you're correct here. Derive that, it will become 2 times 2, so that will be 4 pi r only, plus 16 pi, and that's it. Now, you have dr over dt, you have ds over dr. What you need to find is centimeter per minute. What does it mean? Cm squared means your S or your surface area. Minute means your T. So meaning to say you're supposed to get ds over dt. And what are you going to do to get that? So we can just multiply r ds over dr, multiply r dr over dt. You need to manipulate those things because maybe you need to double check. Like, let's say I will multiply it now, dr over dr, I will have ds over dt. Sometimes it can be multiplication, sometimes it can be division, so you need to take note of that. So ds over dr, ds over dt, yes, I got it. Meaning to say, I just need to multiply this and this together. And it means the final answer for my ds over dt is just multiplying that 4 pi r plus 16 pi will be 8 pi r plus 32 pi. Okay, but when the radius of the cylinder is 3 centimeters, so what I'm going to do now is to put my 3 there. And we need to answer in 1 decimal place. Okay, because radius is equal to 3. So put it there. 8 pi times 3 plus 32 pi. And let's put that in calculator. 8 times pi times 3, double check with me, plus 32 times pi. And the answer will be 56 pi, or can put 56 pi there, but we need to follow the given, which is 175. 175.9 centimeters squared per minute. That's the rate of change of the surface area. Take note of that. And that's it. Thank you so much, guys. You can do it. God bless you. Please make sure to double check your questions, your answers at the end. If you still have time, double check every time. And then no questions will be entertained. So please use your best judgment. If there's no statement about the number of decimal places, it's up to you. It's really up to you, whatever it's going to be considered correct. Thank you. God bless you.